Hey everyone, it's Jay here, back on my NFL predictions. To recap week 11 of 2022, I got 7 out of 14 predictions correct. However, most notably, when I predicted the Raiders beating the Broncos, I actually did predict the correct score. Vegas won 22-16 against Denver. This is the first ever prediction in my entire YouTube channel that actually came out exactly correct. So I'm going to give myself a pat on the back, but let's move on to week 12. And happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Very thankful to make these videos. Number 1, Buffalo at Detroit. And I am picking the Bills winning 34-31. Well, it seems like Buffalo did recover from that ugly disaster against the Vikings, and they managed to beat the Browns. So I expect Josh Allen and his crew to be able to destroy and just cook up the Lions secondary. Although I expect Jared Goff and his crew to do the same thing against the Bills secondary. I think it's going to be a high-scoring match, but Buffalo's going to build a lead, and then Detroit will try to score as many touchdowns as they can to perhaps have a comeback, but it's going to be garbage time for Detroit, so it wouldn't matter anyways. Number 2, New York Giants at Dallas, and I am picking the Cowboys winning 26-23. Well, it seems like New York and Dallas, it's a battle of the 7-3 teams, but Dallas just seems more sophisticated. Dallas seems more talented, especially when you have Tony Pollard as running back, and he could even be a wide receiver for all I know, but he had a heck of a game. He had more yards than the entire Vikings offense, so I give him big props, and I think he's going to do the same thing against the Giants defense, and I think he will outplay Saquon Barkley as well. Number 3, New England at Minnesota, and I am picking the Vikings winning 31-13. Well, it seems like the Patriots got lucky with a missed call, a block in the back. I feel Minnesota is more sophisticated and they're more talented. They just have been winning games consistently and in the correct way. You saw what they did the first 7-game winning streak of Kirk Cousins' career, so that's a big thing for him, and I feel that he will be able to demolish the Patriots, and so will Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson. So it's all going to be them, and you'll see only Vikings fans in the stadium. Number 4, Houston at Miami, and I am picking the Dolphins winning 42-13. Nothing more can be said about this, because Miami is just a better team. They have better receivers, they have a better quarterback, and they have a better defense. So I'm not going to elaborate on this, but I can just tell you that Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill will have over 200 yards of receiving yards combined, and that's all I can say. They're just going to rout the Texans. Number 5, Cincinnati at Tennessee, and I am picking the Titans winning in overtime 30-27. I think this will be a redemption for Tennessee because they lost in the AFC divisional round against Cincinnati, and it was in Tennessee. So I feel that Ryan Tannehill has stepped up, and I feel that he can destroy Joe Burrow's team. Well, he's going to destroy the Bengals' defense, but I feel it's going to be a heck of a fight. However, I will say that Joe Burrow will make his way into overtime, but Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry and the entire offense will at least set up Ryan Bullock to make a field goal, and that should seal the deal. Number 6, Denver at Carolina, and I am picking the Broncos winning in overtime 23-17. I think both teams suck. Both teams deserve to lose, but Denver just has a better quarterback who isn't playing at his level. However, I feel PJ Walker is not as good as Russell Wilson, yet they both suck. But Russell, maybe you can say he sucks, but he's at least better than PJ Walker. So, I have a feeling that the Broncos will start off slow, but they will manage to put the game in overtime, and they will manage to win the game, led by Latavius Murray and Chase Edmonds. The Broncos defense, don't sleep on them because they've been phenomenal this season. It's just the offense that's sucking dick this season, so they just gotta play better. Number 7, Chicago at New York Jets, and I am picking the Jets winning 30-28. This is going to be a close match, considering how gross it was for Zach Wilson to not be sorry and apologize to the defense giving him chances. But I do think Justin Fields is not getting lucky because every time he has like 100 plus rushing yards, he just loses, and I feel that he deserves to win. And this is going to be another one of these close games you're going to see. And Mike White taking over a benched Zach Wilson, he will put on a show, and I'm sure the Jets will find a way to go 7-4 and prevent a losing season. Number 8, Atlanta at Washington, and I am picking the Commanders winning in overtime, 23-20. Well, it seems like Taylor Heinicke has finally earned the starting job as number 1, but I mean, it's basically like two teams who just have a reputation of sucking. But I feel the Commanders have proved themselves to be a playoff contender, at least in the wild card. So I feel that Taylor Heinicke can outplay Marcus Mariota, and with the return of Chase Young, it should also be a little more scarier for Marcus Mariota and the offense. And considering Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, they will get after Mariota, so Washington will find a way to win in overtime. Number 9, Tampa Bay at Cleveland, and I am picking the Buccaneers winning 30-24. Well, it seems like Jacoby Brissett is still having trouble, but I mean, Amari Cooper's playing well, Nick Chubb is playing well, but the thing is, even though they've been playing well, the team just hasn't been living up to expectations. They're 3-6, and Tampa Bay clearly is a better team than Cleveland, but you know what? If Baker Mayfield was in Cleveland, I don't know how things would go. But I feel it may be different if Baker Mayfield was still in Cleveland. But all they got to do for Cleveland is wait for Deshaun Watson to return. Number 10, Baltimore at Jacksonville, and I am picking the Ravens winning 31-21. Well, it seems like Trevor Lawrence just can't find his groove together. Lamar Jackson is on a streak. He's won 4 games in a row. Make that 5 games if he wins. And I feel that the Ravens just have better players than the Jaguars. Travis Etienne is not going to be the one who's going to carry the team. You need every single Jaguar player to carry the team for Jacksonville. Whereas Baltimore, Lamar throws in the air. It's not his feet that carry the offense. It's also Devin Duvernay and all those receivers that he can trust. So it's something that will probably help the Ravens win. Them winning as a team and not just one person. Number 11, Las Vegas at Seattle. And I am picking the Seahawks winning 30-20. So it seems that Las Vegas has been losing points by possession. And Seattle, on the other hand, they seem to have their tempo on offense. Davante Adams is not the answer for the Raiders' offense. And the Raiders' defense cannot be carried by Max Crosby. So I think Geno Smith and Kenneth Walker and the Seattle defense, they will prevent Derek Carr and Max Crosby from doing their jobs. And The Raiders, they go 3-8. That's how it is. Number 12, Los Angeles Chargers at Arizona, and I am picking the Chargers winning 27-24. I think the Chargers have a shot at making the playoffs, but I think in the end maybe Justin Herbert will collapse, and yeah, the Chargers won't make the playoffs, and the Cardinals, I feel, didn't do as well as I hoped they would in San Francisco, although I predicted they lost. It just shows that from the Cardinals' perspective, they aren't managing to keep things consistent. And I think for what I said for Los Angeles, pardon me, Los Angeles, it does have more talent in quarterback, and if Kyler Murray is still hurt, then, or regardless if Kyler Murray is still hurt, I feel that Justin Herbert will outplay him or Colt McCoy, and Austin Eckler will catch passes from Herbert and be a threat to the Cardinals' defense. So that is what's going to happen for Los Angeles Chargers. Although both teams, Los Angeles and Arizona, they probably aren't making the playoffs. Number 13, New Orleans at San Francisco, and I am picking the 49ers winning 31-17. Nothing more can be said. The 49ers are just an excellent team. You saw what they did against Arizona in Mexico at an elevated height. George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, they were just cooking the Cardinals' defense, and I'm sure they will cook the Saints' defense as well. Number 14, Los Angeles Rams at Kansas City, and I am picking the Chiefs winning 35-17. Okay, it's just a disappointment for the Rams. I mean, they suck at every level of football. Matthew Stafford out with a concussion, perhaps, or maybe he returns. Who cares, though? And you got Cooper Kupp with an ankle surgery, sidelined, and literally, it's just not going well for the Rams. And yes, they have hard opponents. They're just lucky to win the Super Bowl. Ideally, it should have been Cincinnati against San Francisco in the Super Bowl. But Los Angeles, they're no match. They are no match for the Chiefs. All right, the Chiefs are a better team. Patrick Mahomes is the better quarterback this season, so it's going to be all him. The end. Number 15, Green Bay at Philadelphia, and I am picking the Eagles winning 28-14. Okay, Jalen Hurts is your true quarterback, number 1 in the league, and Aaron Rodgers, he's just regressing, so it'll be hard for him to play against Philadelphia. And yeah, continue not making excuses with that broken thumb, although I feel that Jalen Hurts is more athletic than you, and Miles Sanders, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Quez Watkins, they're a big threat to the Packer defense. So good luck guarding them all. Number 16, Pittsburgh at Indianapolis, and I am picking the Colts winning 17-14. Okay, Matt Ryan has more experience in the league than Kenny Pickett, obviously, and Mitch Trubisky combined. Although, Matt Ryan, it's sure being a disappointment. Carson Wentz obviously threw less interceptions than Matt Ryan did. But I feel that with a Pittsburgh team that even has T.J. Watt, I think the Colts, they know how to win, and they will find a way to win. Because Matt Ryan is a strong quarterback, and he's capable of taking his team, or whatever team he has, to the playoffs. He's capable of winning games. And with all 16, obviously, there are no teams on bye week, but week 13 and week 14 will have teams on bye week. And that is all for week 12. Other than that, have a great Thanksgiving with your families, and be sure to snuggle up and watch all the football games.